Truth, Money, and Freedom podcast.
Welcome to Truth, Money, and Freedom. Today is Thursday, February 6th, 2020. Hey gang, I wanted to talk about the bill that was talked about by Guns and Gadgets this morning. A lot of people have already commented on my channel about this bill, worried about it, and there's absolutely nothing to be worried about. So let me explain this real quick. This is Senate Bill 543, and it is basically a red flag law, a proposal for a red flag law introduced by Senator Jamila Nasheed. She's the one you guys may remember that was drunk, carrying a firearm during the riots that were going on near St. Louis about 4 years ago. I don't want to go into that. I really don't want to go into that, and I'm sorry I brought it up, but she just happens to be the same person. So she's a hypocrite to begin with. I mean, she's a concealed carry holder herself, registered. But this bill has no traction, and it has no support, and it didn't last year either. This thing won't even make it out of committee. And the fact that the NRA is actually pumping this as a threat to liberty in the state of Missouri is ridiculous. We do get ridiculous bills in Missouri like any state does from time to time. We simply don't do anything with them. They just die in committee. They never make it out. So, and for those of you who are saying, well, the Second Amendment Preservation Act is still in committee. Yes, it is. But it's been voted out of committee on several occasions. In fact, in 2013, it actually ended up on the governor's desk. 2013, that's correct. You're hearing me correctly. 7 years ago, it went on the governor's desk. He vetoed it. They repassed it in the House with a majority, and they were missing by one vote in the Senate. So this is something Ron Calzone talked about in the last video we did. But guys, I want to, in all due respect to Jarrett with Guns and Gadgets, I love your channel, brother. But this is not something we need to be reporting on. If Jared knew the people that I know in the Missouri legislature, he wouldn't have done this video, because this bill is nothing. The NRA is doing this bill to literally get people to join their organization to say they need to fight for this, fight against this bill. This bill doesn't need anyone to fight, to stop it from going forward. It's not going forward anyway. There's no support for it in the committee, and I mean none. This thing will die in committee just like it did last year, and yes, she introduced this bill last year as well. She'll introduce it again next year. I mean, this is, a pet thing of hers is to start red flag laws. But, so this bill, and this is Senate Bill 543, is absolutely not worth your time or your thoughts, and it's not even worth mentioning. So I'm kind of surprised with all this mention it's getting. No offense to Jared. I love Jared's channel and everything. But like I said, if he had more inside information, he wouldn't have even have done this video. There's absolutely nothing here to be afraid of. Now, there is a bill, which is Ron Calzone has done a video about, and it is the PDMP bill. And I'm going to do a video on this very soon, but this one could have elements of red flag in it. But a lot of senators and representatives probably don't see it that way, but it does contain elements. Remember I was telling you guys in an earlier video, sometimes they'll make one bill with this little strange little notion here of red flag law, but not enough to do anything with, and they'll pass another bill with another bit of information in there that kind of attaches to the first bill, and then 2 or 3 years later, the third part of it in another piece of legislation, that when those three come together, boom, you have a red flag law. Well, that's what PDMP represents. I think it's probably a little more in depth than that, but we're going to talk to Ron Calzone about it in the very near future and get more information. I will link Ron's video down below where he talks about PDMP. And by the way, this shouldn't take away from literally everything that we're doing right now for the Second Amendment Preservation Act. That is not the reason I'm even bringing this up. I'm bringing this up as a stark contrast. PDMP actually is much more, not much more, it is a threat for a red flag law. The Senate bill, gosh darn it, 543, there we go. Senate Bill 543 is not a threat at all. You guys are going to have to trust me on this one. I'm talking to Eric Burleson, Jared Taylor, Ron Calzone, Aaron Dorr, These guys know what they're doing, and this bill is never going to see the light of day. So I hope I've cleared that up for you guys, so we know that this isn't worth our time. And the NRA is just doing fear porn right now to get people to join their organization to fight Senate Bill 543, which does not require fighting. I meant it'll just die on its own, trust me. Okay, let me get back to the Second Amendment Preservation Act. Let me do a refresh here. We are on 812. That means 811 witness forms have been filled out. So let's keep getting that number up. I'm going to keep reporting on this until this is done. It looks like it'll be next Thursday. That'll be February 13th. That's when we're going to do the hearing to get it out of committee. So at any rate, let's keep doing this, gang. If those of you who've already done it, remember now, please get your friends and your family and your co-workers to also do this bill. I sure wish I could get Jared's attention. If any of you know Jared personally, please tell him I'd like to talk to him, because he has an enormous voice on YouTube. If I could get Jared's help to actually get some of this stuff out, because I'm just not reporting on the bill, I'm reporting on the call to action, what we can do to further bills. And that's lacking on Jared's channel in regards to Senate Bill 588 or the Missouri Second Amendment Preservation Act. People don't know what to do. That's why it's so important that people either get information from me or share my videos. I don't care which. Like I said, guys, this isn't a YouTube numbers game for me. I could care less about my YouTube numbers. I just want this bill to pass, and then I want to help other states get this bill passed. That's what I'm doing with this bill. Okay, let's take a look at our House of Representative co-sponsor list, and we'll do a refresh here. And my internet's nice and slow, so that's par for the course. But I think Adam Schnelting or something like that, I think he's the last one on the 4th. So it'll be a couple of days ago. But we're still gaining. We still want people to call up the House of Representatives. I'll leave all the links down below. If you don't see a representative that's on this list, on the co-sponsor list, they deserve a phone call. So I keep doing this, gang. I'm asking everyone to do that as well. Remember now, this is the call to action. I'm actually letting you guys know what you can do to actually help further the Second Amendment Preservation Act. So I think that covers pretty much everything I needed to get across today. But I hope I have allayed your fears on this thing that the NRA stirred up. And shame on you, NRA. I'm going to say that very publicly. You've done a lot of good things in the past, but please don't stir up this crap, and start this fear porn when we're trying to get things done in the state of Missouri. And Senate Bill 700 is a fine bill, but I'm not putting any energy into it whatsoever. SAPA, or the Second Amendment Preservation Act, is by far the best gun bill that we have in the Senate right now. And you have to understand how politics work. Sometimes you can only get 1 or 2 bills done a year. And if that's the case, Senate Bill 700, although it's a good bill, it is. I'm not going to diss it. But in my opinion, it's not as important as SAPA. So that's where I'm going to put my efforts and my energies into. The Second Amendment Preservation Act is not only, groundbreaking legislation for a state, but also, too, it will help lead the way to other states doing the same thing. And then the red flag laws, we'll be addressing that in just a little bit. We still deal with that here in Missouri. So believe you me, we still have people trying to pass red flag laws through different pieces of legislation over a period of time. And most states do it that way, by the way. So we have to learn how to find this stuff and then shut down these bills. So we'll talk about that with Ron Calzone. Hopefully at the end of this week, I'll get his time again. We could do another podcast together. Okay, that's it for now, gang. I want to thank every single one of you for everything you're doing to help further, the cause of freedom, the cause of liberty. It's a worthwhile fight. It truly is. I don't pay attention to what's going on in Washington because we can't do anything there anyway. We can't get anything done. These people are too compromised. So we concentrate on the state level, and let's work on protecting our individual residents in our individual states from the tyranny of the federal government. You guys have a wonderful day. May God bless each and every one of you.